Welcome to Payson, home of adventure. Payson's known for many things, including the stunningly beautiful temple. But behind that temple, to the east, are mountains. And that means everyone in Payson is close to the Mount Nebo Scenic Byway Loop. Drive up that loop a little ways, you can look down and see Payson. Let us walk you through some of the adventure that you'll encounter on this loop. You start with a beautiful stream that runs along the side of the road, and even before you get out of your car, you might run into other kinds of adventure. For example, I've rarely driven up the canyon without seeing deer. I love watching the young ones leap. And you share the road with cattle, sometimes with lots of cattle. This particular day, we even encountered a genuine cowboy herding his cattle. If you drive about halfway around the loop, you get to a mini Bryce Canyon called Devil's Kitchen. And this is 1/10 of a mile hike, and it's paved. So this is the most accessible of the hikes I'll talk about. But hiking is one of the best adventures. Want to do a little bit more? You can tackle the ever-popular Grotto Falls Trail, popular for good reason. It's short yet adventurous. It was a perfect fit for us with visiting grandchildren. Now, we were hiking this time in August, so the creek is not quite running dry yet, but not nearly as much volume as earlier in the summer or the spring. Still a beautiful hike that might just draw out the best in you when it comes to adventure. And here's a little footage from earlier in the year when there was much more volume.
15 minutes.
Note that volume can change. For example, this creek running through town was dry until a deluge of rain turned it into a chocolate fountain creek. There's my grandson climbing up above the falls. So even though this is a short hike, there's some good adventure for those who are adventurous. And you get a great little view from above the top of the falls there. Now, let's say you don't like crowds. You want to try something where you're not likely to encounter people. Well, go on a treasure hunt for the Big Tree. There are no good directions to the Big Tree, but we found some online, found somebody's map and followed it. But the last mile was bushwhacking, and it was worth it to see the largest white fir in North America, or at least it was before it got burned in 2018. Now, if you like to climb stuff, there's the Loafer Mountain Santaquin Peak Trail that I did with my buddy Stan Hinckley, who was 79 when we did this, now 80, and a monster hiker who introduced me to the beauty of Payson Canyon. Great views of the entire valley from up on top. This is a longer hike. Now, the ultimate hike on the Mount Nebo Loop is Mount Nebo. And this is definitely not for the faint of heart, but the views are stunning. Even just driving by and taking a look at Mount Nebo, you can appreciate its majesty. Now, you're not limited to summertime for adventure in Payson Canyon. You can go snowshoeing, snow biking, snowmobiling. But my favorite is back in the summer to go mountain biking. We started out up at Jones Ranch Trail. And the great thing about Payson Canyon is you can shuttle. You can drop yourselves off at the top, drop a vehicle down at the bottom, and then miles and miles of beautiful single track. Jones Ranch is my favorite segment. It's just such nice rolling trail through some meadows. Earlier in the year, you'll get some flowers like in that shot. If you plan it right, you can go from nearly the top of the canyon much of the way down with just a little bit of time on the Mount Nebo Scenic Byway connecting trails. And there are lots of little sweet little features. But just as you share the road with cattle, you share the trail with cattle. Now, the trail has varying degrees of difficulty. Most riders can handle. We went from Jones Ranch down to Loafer Mountain and then over to Benny Creek. And there's some technical spots as well. But then there's some highly technical spots.
For advanced mountain bikers, this is maybe the best part of the trail. And for the rest of us, it's a death trap. So there you go. It comes on this hairpin turn.
So after I said this is a death trap, my son-in-law took 2 or 3 peeks at this on my bike, which he'd never used before, and then indecision. Fortunately, he is very athletic and managed to jump free of his bike. I'll let him tell you his advice.
I came out on the bottom of Benny Creek. Didn't really get to see the creek at all until practically the bottom. There's the creek. I'll give you an update on my son-in-law. Hey James, how are you feeling? Anything broken?
Nope. Yeah, got pretty lucky. Some nice, good scratches.
Any advice?
Don't try that drop.
In my son-in-law's defense, he's made jumps like that before, but on a bike that's his own and without a hairpin turn. Afterwards, you can soak in a stream and cool off. Or you could go up to Payson Lakes, which are absolutely beautiful. All that's to be had in the canyon. Payson also does a triathlon. It's sweet and short, 11-mile bike ride, and a short swim and a crowded pool, but it's great fun. Later in the year, at the end of the summer, you can run downhill and set a personal best at the Runtastic Nebo. In addition to triathlons and running, you can golf at Payson's Gladstone course, and its back nine is spectacular. It's filled with plenty of tee shots that are over gullies to greens that are far away. They test your skill, but the setting is just beautiful. Remarkably, on all 3 of these shots, my buddy Todd managed to get to the green or the last shot to the fairway. My luck wasn't so good, but I managed to hit out my own little Payson adventure.
Oh my, what a setting. Okay.
Turns out
Wow.
we both carried this gully to get to the fairway on the other side. Well, if a day of adventure is too much for you, then go sit on your back porch and enjoy the adventure of watching hummingbirds or just a sweet Payson sunset. Thanks for watching our movie, and here's an outtake filmed by my granddaughter, Olive.
Here we go, here we go. Here we go. 3, 2. Adventures of Payson people.
Oh, look at that, yeah. And here comes Mom and Grandma. Oh. And Grandma?
Oh,
Wait,
hey. What?
Do it again, Grandma. You ready?
Yeah.
I know the way out of here.
Okay.